children and phones. How can that link, the dependence, even the addiction be challenged and perhaps even broken? A newly elected Labour MP is bringing a private member's bill forward at Westminster tomorrow, proposing ways to protect children from excessive screen time. It's Josh MacAlister, who is the Labour MP for Whitehaven and Workington, former chief executive of a charity which worked with vulnerable children, and also a former teacher. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I think there are 4 key measures in your bill. Can we talk first about one of them, the raising the age of internet adulthood from 13 to 16? What does that mean?
When GDPR was introduced, that much-loved bit of legislation that changed how our data was used, the default in Europe was for the age to be set at 16. And in the UK, we elected, like lots of other countries, to pick 13. Now, what that means in practical terms for this issue is that social media giants can scour through the data that children have got perfectly legally, and then through algorithms feed children more and more addictive doom scroll-like content. And secondly, parents who are trying to set parental controls and settings on devices through Google and Apple, children at the age of 13 can opt out of that. And so by raising the age of effectively internet adulthood from 13 to 16 through a fairly simple GDPR change, we can protect children from lots of the addictive by design features.
But isn't that protecting them from the use of their data? It is not saying, I think, that you cannot be on Snapchat or Instagram or any of these platforms, TikTok perhaps, under the age of 16.
What it would do is it would mean that social media platforms, apps, would need to either create platforms that can rely on not using the data from a user to keep feeding an algorithm, therefore making it less addictive by design, or they would need to stop offering it to under 16-year-olds. And the example I give to people on this is, I'm a millennial, so many other people may not remember this, but Instagram, when it first came out, when you'd scroll through photos of your friends and you were all caught up, the app would tell you, you're all caught up, go and do something else in the real world. And we need that kind of design in social media and apps for those under 16.
Though, wouldn't it? It would be ignored. Go and do something else. Who listens to that? I don't know whether you mean a device is going to switch off, or I mean, where these devices are so ubiquitous, where Snapchat, for example, is the main means of keeping in contact. A lot of teenagers don't know their friends' phone numbers. They don't need them because they just message them on Snapchat.
So a lot of these platforms are designed deliberately to capture attention for as long as possible. And as adults, we often struggle to take ourselves away from it. So for children who have less self-regulation, it's even tougher. If we can create a version of those apps and a version of smartphones effectively for under 16s, it will make it easier for them to clock out and go and do real world activities. And that debate is happening all around the world at the moment. You know, we see the Australian government proposing bold measures. The state of New York proposed bold measures. Even just this month, France is taking action. This debate is coming. It's happening outside of Parliament, and I'm proposing that we actually have the debate in Parliament too.
And the other countries, clearly there's a lot of international concern. There's a lot of concern among parents here about how to address it. But you seem to be favouring this rather than what some parents want, which is a ban on smartphones for under 16s.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a limit to what you can do with a private member's bill, so you need to keep things fairly straightforward. And I think that if we fail to take action and make the smartphone market work for children, the inevitable consequence is that those calls for a full ban will only grow. So we're at an important moment for the tech industry. Either let's make the UK work as a country where regulation can allow business to grow and flourish, because the tech industry is important, or we ignore this, bury our head in the sand, and those calls from parents will only grow. You know, polling on this is incredibly strong and cuts across political parties, which is why my private member's bill's got backing from Kit Malthouse and a whole group of Labour MPs as well.
Josh MacAlister, thank you.
Thank you.